Yeah, your boy's voice. He's fighting the good fight. A lot of tea, a lot of it's not even honey anymore. My wife keeps agave in the house, which means I should go out and buy my own honey. Miss Guzzi, welcome in. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. It's not just allergies I'm blaming today for not just being late, but for the voice. The last Wings game we had was a week ago, and it set me on a bad trajectory. Now, they won, so I don't care. I'll sacrifice my voice for the good of the team, for the energy of the building. But they had me introduce the entire team for fan appreciation night for the Wings, and it took a lot out of me. I'll just say that much. But we got a lot to get into today, and you know what? My voice is going to hold out. It's going to hold out. As much as I'd like to say that I smoked like 3 cigars before the show today, that didn't happen. It's just the voice is weak today. But we got the Phillies to get into, and we're not even going to start with the Phillies today because I literally just saw something that I had to play for you guys. And if you haven't seen it yet, it's fantastic. It's the PSA you didn't know you needed from AJ Brown. Now, is it the PSA about like, hey, don't do drugs? Nope, it's not that. Is it the PSA about, I learned it by watching you, if you remember that one. If you know, you know. It was him telling you to be careful on essentially carnival rides. If you're going to a fair, just know that stuff was recently put together by maybe somebody that's not exactly an expert builder. Now, there's a couple of things that A.J. Brown brings up in this PSA that I fight hard with people on this one particular topic. We'll get into that in a second. But A.J. Brown is giving you the PSA you didn't know you needed. Also, with the Phillies winning yesterday, I feel fantastic. They split with the San Francisco Giants. Now, last night, as I told you guys yesterday morning, I was going to be on the Fantastic Sports Show. And the question got asked about how important it was to split this series with the Giants. And for me, it wasn't even the fact that they're just splitting this series with the Giants, a good baseball team, by the way. It really comes down to the fact that they didn't lose their 3rd consecutive series. After starting out the season, not losing either of their first 3 series of the season, that's a pretty damn good thing. They lost to Atlanta, they lost to the St. Louis Cardinals, and then they were in danger yesterday of losing this series with the Giants. So who did they have on the mound yesterday? Well, they had a guy named Christopher Sanchez, who, if you remember, played the role of stopper in St. Louis. In game 2 of that series, the Phillies were in danger of losing their first 3 games in a row, their first 3-game stretch in a row. Christopher Sanchez stepped in there and did 4 double plays in his start and was great. He was even better yesterday. And it is so much fun. Like, you watch a batter that's just on fire, can do no wrong. And Mundo Sosa to start out this season can do no wrong. You just know he's going up there and he is dominating, right? Watching a pitcher with that same type of flow to his game is like watching a magician. And Christopher Sanchez yesterday, the rabbit he was pulling out of his hat was his changeup. And I'm watching him throw that pitch yesterday, and not one single San Francisco Giant could figure out the trick. And they kept on hacking at it. They kept on guessing. They kept on taking chances, but they did not make adjustments. And after the game, JT Realmuto said as much about his pitcher yesterday, who just had that pitch rocking. He said he has that kind of deception with the pitch every time he's out there. The only question is whether or not he's going to be able to throw it close enough to the strike zone at times to keep the hitters guessing. And he said yesterday he was right in the perfect spot every single time with a hitter. 12 strikeouts for Christopher Sanchez yesterday, and 11 of them were by way of the changeup. The last pitch he threw was a sinker, and I forget who he got on it. The last strikeout he got was on Koss, and it was a sinker over the middle of the plate, up in the zone, that I guarantee if anyone is even halfway expecting that to happen, he's going to get a single out of that. He's going to get hit out of it, whatever. Christopher Sanchez just had these guys so off balance, so in their head when it came to that changeup. A fastball essentially came over the middle of the plate at 97 miles per hour. They didn't know what to do with it. 97 mile per hour sinker, 98 mile per hour sinker, and an 86, 87 mile per hour changeup. Yeah, that'll put a hitch in your giddy up. You know what I'm saying? So it was pretty spectacular to watch Christopher Sanchez just be nasty yesterday when it came to playing against and throwing against the San Francisco Giants. The other aspect of this is that Phillies gave him run support. He allowed a run in the first inning, then shut him down pretty much the rest of the way. There was 2 errors by Trey Turner. The second one came around to bite the Phillies in the butt because there was a 2-run home run as opposed to what would have been a solo home run. Christopher Sanchez gets charged for only 2 earned runs. He gave up 3 over 7 innings. But the bats came alive in that first inning, and they really just rode that for the most part the rest of the way. They got an RBI later in the game from who? Oh, Edmundo Sosa came up with an RBI sac fly. But 5-run first inning. They get a bases loaded, no out situation in the first inning. And unlike last night, they do more than score 2 nights ago, rather, game 3 of this series. They squeeze more than just 2 gifted runs out of it. They get big hits. Nick Castellanos, Kyle Schwarber, Alec Boehm is now hit safely in 5 of his last 6 games. That game last night was a lot, or that game yesterday. Yeah, last night, 4:05 start time. I'll go with last night. That game was a lot of fun to watch yesterday. And going back to Sanchez, I put my notes together, 9 innings, all that stuff. I got I'll show you my notes sometime. But I go back and I'll keep track of what guys got put away on. And I go through the first inning, and I'm like, changeup's working well in that first inning. All the strikeouts there, first inning. He struck out Matos. He struck out Adames. He struck out Schmidt. All 3 outs came by way of the strikeout. Oh, look at that. All 3 changeups. Going to the second inning, strikes out Fitzgerald. Strikes out Koss on a change. All 5 strikeouts to this point in the game are on changeups. Oh my God, look at that. Anyway, fast forward to the 4th inning, he's got 8 strikeouts, and I'm like, all of them are by way of the changeup. So yeah, I would say it was working pretty well yesterday. And the Phillies ride that to a win. Now they get 3-game series with the Marlins. For you postcast fans out there, first off, thank you. Second, no postcast Saturday, family wedding. My little baby cousin's getting married. Like all good romances, her and her husband met at Boogie Nights down Atlantic City, where you go to find love. But yeah, so no postcast Saturday. But Sunday, Easter Sunday, I'll be here. Right before I grill up some nice lamb. Okay. But yeah, they got the Marlins coming to town for a 3-game series starting tonight at 6:45. So I will have you covered for your postcast needs when it comes to all that. Flyers lost last night, which I know a lot of people were rooting for them to do. Worst record. I can't take as many tanks as other people, but yeah, if it helps their draft status, then I'm all for it. The thing I was watching last night for the Flyers was whether or not Matvei Mishkov was going to lead the team in goals. He was the guy I was rooting for. It was between him, Tyson Forrester, and their points leader, Travis Konechny. They're all tied at 24 going into last night's game. Well, Matvei Mishkov came away with 2. So your 2024-2025 Flyers goal king, I'm going to call him that, Matvei Mishkov, the rookie. Him leading the team in goals gives me reason to believe, 2 reasons to believe in the Flyers for next year as far as taking a step forward as opposed to the step backwards that they had. In case you haven't been following the Flyers, but you like the Flyers, I'll sum it up for you. Let's forget about John Tortorella just for a second, literally a second. This team missed the playoffs last year by 4 or 5 points. This year, oh God, it was just always terrible. So obviously a step back. Now back to John Tortorella. John Tortorella not being here is already a step in the right direction. You're already ahead of the game. You don't have to go through it in the offseason now. You've already put that aside. You don't have to worry about the press conferences or anything like that anymore. You don't have to worry about any of that in the offseason. You're already moving in the right direction now. On top of that, the guy that was the rookie this year was your leading goal scorer. That's a nice thing to have. You could certainly look down upon other people here that maybe they should be the leading goal scorer, whatever. But if your rookie is that guy, oh, I feel pretty good about that guy building on his career. If he's starting his career with your team's leading goal scorer, that's not a bad thing. Does it mean that he's going to go in the Hockey Hall of Fame? No. Does it mean that the Flyers are going to win the Cup next year? No, absolutely not. But I'd rather build with a guy that's your rookie leading you in scoring going forward. So I was looking for that last night. I got what I wanted last night, and I got what I knew was necessary, especially after John Tortorella said, I'm not interested in learning how to coach a team like this. Like, okay, see you later. That's about the end of it. And then shouting matches and all that stuff's not going to help the Flyers grow. And as I said at the time when they let go of John Tortorella, I said they're letting him go for the same reason I was questioning as to why you would bring him in now. He's not the guy that's going to be teaching these young guys how to play. He's going to be the guy trying to push the team over the edge to be a better team, not a team that's going through, God forbid, a process, if you will. So we got all that. I'm going to start out with a situation that's near and dear to my heart, and that's the A.J. Brown situation. Now, I'm an A.J. Brown fan. I've defended him more than most people, I feel, but I woke up this morning, and the first thing I saw was our friends at Eagles Nation, part of Philadelphia Sports Nation, put out a video that A.J. Brown posted out. I think this is Instagram. I don't know. Maybe he just let the video rip on X. I don't know. But A.J. Brown has a public service announcement, and in this, he touches on something that I believe is a hot button issue that I have argued with people over, and I call him out. I'm not a stickler, okay? Oftentimes in social settings, somebody tells me something that I think is, bull. I'll be like, okay, all right, I'll pick my battles. But A.J. Brown touches on a battle that I pick every single time, and it also has to do with safety when you go to your next carnival or fair. Ladies and gentlemen, your Super Bowl winning wide receiver, A.J. Brown.
No. We have a fair in Philadelphia, right? And I would advise all of you to not go to this fair, right? Let me give you the perspective of a builder and of me personally, my perspective at that, right? So I like to build stuff at times, right? And it's challenging. Sometimes it be challenging, right? Many different times where I try to put a screw in, right? And it just don't go right. It don't fit right. And I leave it out. And I continue building, right? So just picture this fair that you're about to go attend. And you riding and you having a great time and a great blast, right? And imagine, like I said, you on that ride, you having a great time, and imagine you just hear something just come on loose, right? That's that screw that they didn't put in there, right? So now you worry, you scared, now your life is in danger, right? But I don't see how people go to fairs, let alone ride roller coasters too, but a fair, like, they literally picked a spot and build that up from the ground zero. That's not where it belongs. That's not a stable foundation. I just don't see how people put their trust in stuff like that. Me, I love my life. I know we all gotta go someday. But I'm not about to put my life at risk for no fair.
Thank you. Thank you. There we go. Incoming edit. Yes, thank you. All right, so AJ Brown's coming back. I didn't know I needed that PSA. I hope it was a good time. Hold on, what time did I mute my mic? 15 minutes? Okay, I'll edit that out later. So AJ Brown, I don't know what fair he's talking about. I don't know what carnival he's talking about coming back from. I don't know. Usually they wait for the nicer weather to do that, but whatever. So he's driving back. We all know we're taking our lives in our hands when we're stepping onto the scrambler, for instance, at the carnival, whatever. It's raising money for a good cause. You do it anyway. Oftentimes it's put together, I'm sure, by the guy that's actually taking the ticket or whatever. But I'm watching this this morning, and I almost spit my espresso out. He touched on something. Now, that's only a 90-second thing. That's about 3.5 minutes, the full video of it. And he ends the video with saying, guys will build a crib for their kid, for little Johnny. And if a screw doesn't fit, they just throw the screw away and they just keep building. Here's my deal. This is the battle I picked that I shouldn't. And maybe I'm alone here. But AJ Brown is instilling a IKEA type of mentality to the carnival. And the battle I really pick here is when you get something from IKEA, when you get something from Wayfair, whatever, you don't build that. You put it together. Are you with me on this? Like, I don't know if it's because personally, I actually have family. I have family in the construction business. They build stuff. I build, like, you to build something. I consider you have to have measured, cut wood, or whatever. You've had to shape something from scratch, essentially. Now, if you get a kit for like a garage or a shed, I'll give you credit for building that. But when it's IKEA, Wayfair, a crib, you don't build that. You put it together. And people will throw this in front of me, and they will say, oh, yeah, I built this. And I'll look at it and I'll be like, oh, wow, that's pretty amazing. And I'm like, oh, that's – and then I'll look at it and I'll be like, they didn't – no way. I kind of know this person. I know they're not a carpenter. And they will say – it's the only semantics argument I'll probably get in the natural world. In the sports world, I'll get into anything over semantics. But I'll go, you didn't build this. You put this together. Oh, or I'll be like, oh, you put it together. And I'll be like, oh, yeah, I put it together. Yeah, I built it. I'm like, no. Let's be clear. You put this together. If it came with instructions, with little like stick figure guys on it, with like X's, I'm like, don't do this, do that. You didn't put it. You didn't build it. You put it together. AJ Brown is instilling this idea of building the crib. You didn't build the crib. You put the crib together. And I will use that same mindset for the carnival person that he is talking about. They didn't build the ride. They put it together. And for whatever reason, anytime you put everything together, anytime you put anything together, that happens. You can put it together 1,000 times on time 100, on time 299, on time 304, on time 500, on time 1,000. There's that little thing that's like, why does this fit? It's always fits. It's just not fitting today. Okay, whatever. That's the danger. That's not only that, it's how many times that carnival ride is put together. The wear and tear of just putting it together and taking it apart. Yeah, no thanks. I think I'm out on that for a while. Go to the fair. We'll do the water guns in the clown's mouth for a prize. That's what we'll do. We'll do the softballs in an old milk container. What are those? Canister? Yeah, old milk canister for a prize, which I did one. I won once at Hershey Park, not a carnival, but you get it. That's what I'll stick to with the kids. The rides, I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay on that. AJ Brown drove past a fair and felt the need to give that public service announcement. I needed that old NBC star, the more you know. Do. Anyway, yeah, that's your boy. That's Super Bowl winning wide receiver, AJ Brown. Your Philadelphia Phillies. Actually, while I'm on the subject, having the conversation yesterday with Harry Mays and Jason Martinez on our new Eagles podcast that we do, Eagles Squad podcast for the Locked On Sports Network. We got a lot into Jalen Hurts. We got a lot into what I was talking about yesterday on the show as far as do enough people realize, and I really want you guys to think about this. Do enough people realize, you think, like the other Eagles fans that you talk to about Jalen Hurts, and this is a guy that was getting hate and doubt and slighted by members of our own fan base, members of the media as well, about whether or not he could be the guy to win you a Super Bowl. And if you shut down Saquon, can he make the throws? Like, so he's proven that. And by the way, and you guys know, I was on board with him. Yes, he can do it if they shut down Saquon, and that's pretty much exactly what happened in the Super Bowl. But do enough people realize right now, you think, that Jalen Hurts is the quarterback that we've been waiting for and the quarterback that we're always going to want? Now, by that, I don't just mean the style of his play. As a matter of fact, I don't even mean the style of his play at all. I mean more the mentality and the team first mentality and the overall ability. Now, the specific kinds of abilities that he has, that's not what I mean. I just mean overall the ability to get it done. He's won 2 NFC championships, and he's already won a Super Bowl. The time 100 thing is cool. It's really great. But like, it doesn't change really all that much about what I think about Jalen Hurts. Like, I didn't learn anything other than, oh, he got recognized for doing the things that I already know he's done and can do. But do enough people realize what a special time this is right now? I know it's always better to, oh no, it's more fun. Oh no, he's not it. We got to talk about this next guy. No, like, we don't have to talk about the next guy for a long time. Do enough people realize how special that is? For instance, I take Donovan McNabb's career. Talk about another long-running, successful quarterback in Philadelphia. But he never delivered the ultimate prize. And when you talk about him losing to the Rams, you felt like, oh, they'll be back. This guy's going to be a great quarterback. Lose to the Bucks, the Panthers. They beat the Falcons to go to a Super Bowl, lose the Super Bowl. Then, about 4 or 5 years later, they lose to the, oh man, this one stung. They lose to the Arizona Cardinals, lose to Kurt Warner again. Funny how they bookended the McNabb run of NFC championship games with losses to Kurt Warner. But 5 NFC championship games, he only won 1. This guy has already won 2, and he's won a Super Bowl. Like, think about that. And even when the Eagles won with Nick Foles, there was this sense of, okay, well, Carson will come in here, and he was an MVP last year, and everything's going to be great. Nick Foles winning that Super Bowl, don't get me wrong, I'd trade that for nothing. Nothing I'd trade that for. That was incredible. But it led to the demise of Carson Wentz. He didn't want to, it's been well documented. Darren Sproles has talked about it time and time again. Even though they ran RPOs before Nick Foles, he didn't want to run the RPOs after that because that became Nick Foles stuff. Like, the idea of the Carson Wentz era ending with such mental fragility and then moving on to the mental strength of a guy like Jalen Hurts, that only made, the two extremes seem more further apart. The fact that it was so low with Carson Wentz and that it's so high when it comes to Jalen Hurts. And one of the conversations we got into yesterday, again, went back to Donovan. And it's this criticism that I feel a lot of people, I didn't even know Harry felt this same way. But I've always looked at Donovan as, like, people from the outside markets always, they'll say, hey, especially at the time Donovan was playing, hey, why is it in Philly you guys don't love Donovan? It always seems like you guys don't love Donovan. And they won't even be referencing booing him at the draft. They won't even reference him getting booed at the draft. They'll be like, why does it seem like you guys love Donovan? And I'm like, we just get the sense that the guy doesn't hate losing. Like, we think that he thinks it's nice to win, but we don't get the sense from him that he hates losing. The T.O. stuff, the rumors going out there about him being jealous of T.O., and then, like, that stuff just doesn't fly in Philly. So I'm not saying that Donovan McNabb is mentally weak or anything like that. I just think that, yeah, he had some sensitivity with the T.O. issue. And you never got the sense that the guy hated losing. And you could obviously point to more evidence. The guy didn't even know that an NFL game could end in a tie. But there we are, or there we were, I should say, that one fateful afternoon in Cincinnati. And then you look at Jalen Hurts. And this guy only cares about one thing, and that one thing is the main thing, and that main thing is winning. This is the guy we've been waiting for a very long time. Do enough people realize that right now with Jalen Hurts? Is he appreciated enough? Or are people just looking at this like, well, he's only, and we got into this in the conversation yesterday. I think it was Ken that made the point, and I appreciate this. He is in a great situation, but other quarterbacks have been in great situations, and they didn't win a Super Bowl via blowout. You know what I mean? They have almost gotten in the way of it. They've tried to shoehorn themselves, wedge themselves into the reason the team won. And look, I think Jalen Hurts had a huge part in winning that Super Bowl, obviously MVP. But how many other quarterbacks would allow somebody else to acknowledge, hey, wait, I got this great weapon here with Saquon and this offensive line. Let's just keep rolling with that until they can stop us. And then also say, here's something Jalen Hurts doesn't get any credit for, is when he makes the right read, the right check. Yeah, sure, that'll work out. Whatever it was, a 67-yard pass to Dallas Goedert, 3rd and 7 to Dallas Goedert against the Ravens. Like when Jalen Hurts makes the right read, that's reading a defense, and that's exploiting a weakness of that defense. When he makes the right read, realizing what the defense is doing, and he gives the ball to Saquon Barkley, and he breaks off a 63-yard run. Jalen Hurts doesn't get any stat for that. That's just, Jeff Statlin's great. The offensive line is great. Saquon Barkley is incredible. Along the lines there, too, is Jalen Hurts going, look at what the defense is doing. Red skedaddle. And then Jalen Hurts hands it off to Saquon Barkley, and bing, bang, boom, touchdown. Doesn't get any credit for that. Do enough people realize right now how special it is to have Jalen Hurts as your quarterback? It's extremely special to have Saquon Barkley. Last year, literally the best year ever by a running back. Most yards ever, Super Bowl champion. That's pretty damn good. Do enough people realize, though? Like, I feel like people... voice just cracked. I feel like... Excuse me, one second. Do enough people realize... I think more people realize how special it is to have Jeff Stoutland than they realize how special it is to have Jalen Hurts. It's rare to do a show about appreciation of a quarterback in Philadelphia, really in any city, Philadelphia in particular. And I feel like we need an appreciation show of Jalen Hurts. This isn't that show, by the way, but I feel like you could do multiple shows on it. Do enough people realize that? Hey, you're Philadelphia Phillies. Yesterday was a lot of fun. Phillies are able to split their series with the San Francisco Giants thanks to Christopher Sanchez just being a magician out there on the mound. First inning, gave up a run, 20-pitch first inning. Not ideal, not terrible, but not ideal. 20-pitch first inning, he pitches into the 7th inning and closes it out. He opened the 7th inning. He was at a little over, I think, 80 pitches. Yeah, he was at 82 pitches. He was at 65 pitches to open the 6th inning. He gave up a 2-run home run to Chapman, and that was after the error by Trey Turner. But in between that, you just saw him flat out dominate. And it was the same swing by that entire lineup for 11 of those 12 strikeouts. The same swing. Guys, just the deceptive arm movement he had on his changeup yesterday, keeping batters guessing. If you got 2 strikes on you, most of the time he's throwing you that changeup, and they still didn't know it was coming. It's not just about placement. It's about making sure that you have that same arm movement, same arm angle as you did when you're throwing that 97-mile-per-hour, two-seamer that's tailing in or tailing out. It was remarkable to watch him yesterday. He was absolutely in the zone when he was pitching yesterday. People forget this guy was an all-star last year. I think more people remember the fact that he signed a contract extension last year than they are the fact that he was an all-star. And he was just going out there and dealing yesterday. And when he was able to, in the blink of an eye, just switch up from that 97, 98 to 86, 87, it was just remarkable to watch. And it's of the games that we have watched so far this season, by far for a pitcher was the most fun. After Nola struggling the way he did, after Wheeler having back-to-back starts of not quality, that's not great. But Christopher Sanchez went out there and dealt. Taijuan Walker finally got gotten to for 1 inning. It was really good to watch a guy go out there and just deal for 7 innings, and that's what you got yesterday from Christopher Sanchez. Also, Alec Boehm got you that other hit. He got you a triple in yesterday's game, RBI triple in that first inning. As I mentioned earlier, first inning, you load the bases, nobody out. Schwarber comes up with the big hit with a 2-run single. Castellanos gets an RBI. Castellanos had a little injury yesterday, something they're going to monitor. Be curious to see if he's in the lineup today. Then Alec Boehm came up for the final run of that inning, just put a sinker that was out over the middle of the plate, put a sinker into dead center field. Matos there in center went back on it. Tough play to make. Tried to make it right over his head, reaching back, popped in and out of his mitt, but gets credit for the triple. Alec Boehm, good hustle to him for running on it. Not taking anything for granted, whether it was a home run or an out. He kept running, so he ended up on third base. Then Rojas ended it with a little ground out to shortstop. Phillies just seemed in that first inning that they weren't going to waste the opportunity that they wasted in the previous game. So seeing them come out and get those runs early, let Christopher Sanchez exhale for a second, was a pretty good thing. And also, let's not forget, you went into that bottom of the first inning trailing, and the Phillies tacked on 5. So that's a good thing for them. Bryson Stott at second base yesterday came up with an incredible play. If you didn't see it, it was in the 7th inning. Christopher Sanchez is trying to get through that inning, trying to close things out on a good note. Matos at the plate, grounds into a 4-3 put out. Bryson Stott had the opportunity there. You already had 2 outs in the inning with a runner on first to touch second base for the out or fire to first. He goes up the middle to make the play on the ball from his butt, tries to touch second base. Now, I think he touched second base with his foot, and I think he thinks he touched second base with his foot. But just to be sure, he fires to first and gets that out as well. Now, the angle I saw, I thought he touched second base. But I love that he had the presence of mind on this play from his behind to make sure that he fired to first to get that, get the final out of the inning and end the evening of Christopher Sanchez. It was a great hustle play by him. On the other side of things here, unfortunately, Trey Turner, who had not committed an error, and I was thinking about this actually after Aaron Nola's start in Game 3, where Trey Turner had that ball go off his mitt and into center field to allow 2 more runs to score, the 3rd and 4th runs of that first inning. I was like, he's gotten to that ball this year. Like, he's actually been pretty good at shortstop this year. And that was obviously an issue for him last year. Fielding wasn't exactly his strong suit. And he just barely missed that ball that led to 2 more runs being scored in Game 3. So he makes the first error of this game. I think that was he booted it. And then he makes a throwing error later in the game, which allowed another run to score. Unearned, but still another run to score. But I was thinking he had actually been pretty solid, although it's young, and we're talking about a young season at this point. He'd been pretty solid at shortstop. 2 errors in 1 game yesterday. These things sometimes happen in runs. I'm hoping this isn't a run on bad defense for Trey Turner, especially when you know a guy like Zach Wheeler is going to need it. Aaron Nola's. They all need it, obviously, but you try to avoid those blow-up innings with guys, and you don't want to be given extra outs. Best example of that, Johan Rojas and Mundo Sosa in Atlanta, letting that ball drop. Next thing you know, a 3-run home run in that inning. Cool. That's fun. Yeah, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. So Phillies, Marlins back at it tonight. Look forward to that. Hey, let me tell you about the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app to your phone, create an account, use promo code Farzy. Get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. Game, concert, comedy show, Game Time app has you covered. Download the app, create an account, Promo code Farzy, $20 off your first purchase. Don't forget about the Game Time Picks feature on the Game Time app. You know what that does? That filters out all the fluff, so you get right down to it. The best seats at the best prices on the Game Time app. Also, you can view your seat before you buy it, so you take the guesswork out of buying tickets with the Game Time app. So download the app, create an account, use promo code Farzy, get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. How about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's PHLSportsNation.com. How about Brett over at Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Check out Brett's amazing inventory at SkyMotorcars.com. Let's get into the chat check. April, good morning. James Alexander, hello. Farzy going 2 for 2 against the Giants, or 2 and 2 against the Giants, can hopefully build our momentum. Here's what I don't like. I got asked the question last night. Shredder asked me on Fox. He goes, do you get the sense that the fan base is giving the Phillies time? I was like, no. I don't at all feel like the Phillies, like, there's, with this team, and we knew it going into the season, the Phillies and the Sixers are in a very similar boat right now, where patience is over. Like, we're talking about firing a manager and Rob Thompson, potentially. We're talking about trading Alec Boehm, potentially. We're talking about making some drastic moves here from your opening day lineup. Brandon Marsh, get rid of him. You know, it's not to the fan base. I explained it as I've explained it to you guys. It's not April. It's act 4 of the same play that we have seen over and over again. And when the Phillies have moments where they just swing at everything outside the strike zone, despite how they started the season with the lowest chase rate in baseball, I don't even know where they're at now, but they certainly seem like they've gone below that. I watch this team, and it's a lot of the same stuff. And when you repeat those same mistakes without great change, yeah, people are going to tend to think this is going to end the way it's ended in years past. The other thing is that we've seen the two different sides of this coin. We've seen the Phillies start a season out terribly, turn it on in June, and then all of a sudden they're in a World Series. We've seen this team, I know I go back to this a lot, but we've seen this team hit 5 home runs in a World Series game and get no hit the next day. Like, this is why we have trust issues, okay? We've seen this team start out 37-14. And now we're seeing this team start out really, 3 games over 500 now? Like, we've seen it all with this Phillies team. We've seen Aaron Nola be great and then get shelled. We've seen it all with this team. Our patience is it's over. It's over. So I bring up all those examples not to cast doubt and shame upon the Phillies. I just say that I feel like a lot of people are acting like this is like their first rodeo with the Phils. This opening month plus of the season doesn't mean anything. Do these games count? Do these games count the same as they do in September? Absolutely. I'm one of the first people that always points that out. But if a team is struggling hitting-wise now, if a team is struggling to win consistently now, that doesn't mean that they're going to struggle to win in September. I hate going to it's a 162-game season, but it's a 162-game season. Alec Boehm's going to have his 1 for 23s. JT Realmuto is going to struggle. God forbid injuries rear their ugly head on the season, more so than Ranger Suarez, for instance, right? You're going to have your ups and downs during the course of a season. The good part about it being early, still, as I have the voice of an 11-year-old today, the good part about being early is that you got a lot of time to correct these mistakes. Because for me, it's not even about, again, you put it in the same situation as the Sixers. The Sixers, for me, got to a point, as they are right now, where you've told me the regular season doesn't matter anymore. That's what you've told me. The only thing that matters is what you do in the postseason. The Phillies are in that same world where, yeah, I don't care if you win 95, 103 games. I don't care. Perform in the playoffs. Don't get shut down by the Mets. Don't act like Sean Manaea is all of a sudden Sandy Koufax. Was it? I can't remember, but don't be the team that just all of a sudden turns it off. And here's the deal. When the playoffs roll around and the Phillies are in it, as I've been saying, when the playoffs roll around and the Phillies are in it, I'm still going to have trust issues. It's not like, oh, they made the playoffs, they're going to win the World Series now. No, not at all. I'm going to go through the playoff run for however long it is in the same way I've gone through regular seasons and previous postseasons, which is they could be red hot 1 second and ice cold the next. They could be feasting or they could have famine. Daniel, good morning. April, hello. You were also on a million shows yesterday. Get some local honey. You know what? Actually, now that you mentioned local honey, April, my wife's cousin in Denver makes her own honey. Well, she has the bees make it. She puts it together. She doesn't build it. But maybe I think we might have some of that in a drawer somewhere or in a pantry. William Stark, good morning. Ken, good morning. April. We have a carnival in town right now. April's in the Carolinas. We have a carnival in town right now. I tell people all the time how sketchy those rides are, held together with ropes and bubblegum. This is here's what's going on. Now, if you work in the carnival business, no offense with what I'm about to say. However, I grew up going to, I want to say it was called the Midway Carnival. And I want to say it was in Lahaska, which is like by Doylestown where I grew up. And it was the fire department carnival. It was great. We'd go every year as kids. Yeah, back when there was no rules. And I'll never forget, me and my buddy Joe were standing in line. And we were going on the scrambler. And the guy that was operating the ride he had a quarter, I guess it was, and he was kind of flipping it up in the air. Like he was Two-Face from Batman. And he was just kind of flipping the quarter up in the air as he was waiting for the rides to finish, you know? And he's flipping the coin, and he drops the coin. All right? He's operating the ride. He's right there with the ride. He drops the coin beyond the fence where the ride is being contained. He leans over to pick up the coin, and the scrambler's going around. This man's head is exposed, okay? He's a what do you call it? He's a defenseless receiver, okay? Just as he bends over to pick up this coin, the scrambler comes around and one of the carts smacks him in the head. Me and my buddy both see this happen at the same time. Clung. And we look at each other like, holy, is he okay? And then the guy, like nothing happened, just bends over, picks up the coin, and just comes back to flipping the coin. And my buddy and I look at each other like, how many times did that happen to that guy where that just didn't phase him? This wasn't a love tap. This sounded like somebody picked up the scrambler little metal cart and just hit the guy on the head with it, like he wanted to knock him out. And this guy acted like nothing happened. And I'm like, okay, that's his. I guess there's not a lot in there to protect. Jason A., good morning. Ken Sod, hello again. Phillies can only play long ball. Playoffs are designed for the short ball, which means we can lose in the playoffs. Maybe, just maybe this time we will win in the first round. Yeah, I'll cross my fingers for that, as we all will. Mullet Alvarado, hello. Hey, Farzy and fam. As a teacher, I'm counting down to the summer. Farzy, what's your favorite shore town? I do like Sea Isle, and I do like Wildwood. Wildwood, I feel like I'm really there with the people, you know? Sea Isle, I feel like I'm there to party. And that's great. But I'd say Wildwood and Sea Isle. Probably my favorite. I like Wildwood's ginormous beaches. Do they still not do beach tags? I don't really do the shore that much. But is beach tags still not a thing in Wildwood? I'd hope not. Wine Niners Wine. Have a great weekend, Farzy and friends. Hey, while I'm at it, hey, happy Easter, everybody. For those that celebrate, happy Easter. Kansas City Flyers can't find a cross in a church. Speaking of Easter, amen. Yeah, the rookie looks good, but the team is flat, lack of effort. But the seats are full, so it won't change. I say do the Saints bag thing. Ooh. Where was it recently? They told somebody, was it Chicago? They said take off the paper bag. It's a health issue. I forget where it was, but it was recently. AJ ain't wrong. Man speaking facts. Absolutely. Here's where I was muted. Talk on Farzi, laugh out loud. Thank you, everybody. Somebody please help Farzi. Whatever you're saying, I'm sure it's great. No chat check. Hands are moving a mile a minute. Can't help it. Spurgeon King, how you been? Dead air, losing out on these nuggets of wisdom, right? Just keeps going. What a professional. Entertainment centers are still a nightmare. I agree. Talking about assembling them, yes. Our match 420, absolutely. Oh, wait a minute. I thought I was original with this argument. Assemble versus build. It's a matter of semantics. I realize that. Jason A., I agree. There's a big difference. Thank you. Thank you. April, yeah, those rides are put together, not built. Yeah. Mullen Alvarado, AJ Brown's new book, Carnies Lack Inner Excellence and Just Might Kill You. That's good. Think Tank, hello, go Birds. Philly Magic 365. The fact is lack of effort, I think that is, and people not caring make us all sick and slightly violent. Can we be blamed and say not? We're passionate people. That we are. The mommy. The mommy. Hello, the mommy. Nice convo, Fars. We love our General Hurts. There you go. Hurts just keeps winning. Yes, he does. Jason A., yes, Hurts is the quarterback Philly always wanted. Hell yeah. Sean Gillespie. What's up, Sean? Hello. Danny, what's going on? Tom Brady will be at WrestleMania tomorrow. Okay. My brother was actually over yesterday watching the Phillies game with me, and he goes, do you like Stone Cold Steve Austin? And I'm like, I think you're 20 years too late to ask me that question, but go on. And I go, I don't really, like, I respect, him. I respect what WrestleMania is. I respect, what wrestling is. I've just never been huge into it. Maybe I had like a 3-month stretch when The Rock was trying to beat Triple H and Mankind was still in the game, a little bit. But that's probably the last time I was really into it. But I respect the cultural phenomenon that it is. But he showed me the video of Stone Cold Steve Austin, like asking people their profession. And he just, everything that they said, he was just like, I don't give a rat's ass about truck drivers. I don't give a rat's ass about college students. And then some lady was just like, I work for a church and help religious people, find their way, whatever. And he was like, I don't give a damn. And he starts laughing. Couldn't even get the line out, but it was funny. But anyway, that's my Stone Cold Steve Austin 15-second thing. Jason A., almost like they don't care, but they do. So they just go with emotions. Oh, the Phillies? Yeah. Hey, April, look at this. I'm learning things. Local honey is better because it's the same pollen as the flowers near you. The same pollen that's trying to kill me, like my wife's cats. They don't have pollen. I understand it. They have dander. Never get caged. Female Bigfoot I saw in a mini carnival. I'm sorry, what was that, Sean? Never forgot the caged female Bigfoot I saw in a mini carnival. How many was this carnival? Where was it? Good Lord. Sounds like it was in Delco. 2 different beach towns, totally. Right? Oh, William Stark, Wildwood Crest back in the day. Mullen Alvarado. I love Wildwood. Stone Harbor, too. Peace and quiet there. Funny enough, I'm from a town called Carney's Point, where Bruce Willis is from. I just picture they're all at Carney's Point just putting the scrambler together. You know what I always felt good about, though? And this is probably, watch will be the worst thing. The Gravitron. The Gravitron, where it spins around real fast and your seats go up, or the seats, the things slide up that you're leaning against. I always feel like that just comes assembled. I don't know. I've never seen one just going around on the highway. Maybe that's just me talking to myself and it wasn't that dangerous. Carnival rides, good time. Good time. if they had any type of basketball hoop at a carnival where you like got to shoot free throws or something, those were always like, just give me the stuffed animal now. Just give me the stuffed animal now. I don't even need to do this. Because basically, if there is one thing I think I could do to help a professional sports team right now in the shape I'm in, it's go out there and hit free throws. I could go out there and you give me the ball and they foul me, you got yourself 2 points. Okay? That's it. If I got to do anything else, I can't kick a field goal. I can't just stand there and net and help you as a hockey goalie. If there's anything I know I could do for someone, any team in professional sports, and do it better than a lot of guys on the floor, I could shoot free throws. April, the Gravitron is absolutely assembled. Well, I guess I've already gone on the Gravitron for the last time. I can't remember the last time I was on a Gravitron. I'll tell you this one story. I don't want to ruin it for this people, but there was one ride I was on in a nearby, I'll just say a nearby amusement park. And I'll never forget, I get on this ride and there was these two ladies in front of me, and they had it was a thing where you had to close the gate. It was one of those rides where you close the gate on the side and they only sit like 2 or 4 people. And the guy goes around and he does the safety tug on all the doors. And he does my door. It's locked. There's the next one locked. And the people that were like 1 car in front, 2 cars in front of me, their thing was still open. He went, I guess there was like 10 carts and he only got to 9 of them. And then just went into his little booth to push the buttons. And the ride starts. And I look up and the ladies are like, what? And they look at the thing and they're like, they start screaming. They're terrified, And I guess I was the only one other than them. And they just started panicking. So I yelled to the guy. I'm like waving to him as I go by. I'm like, hey, stop the ride, dude. Stop the ride. And he looks up and he's like, oh. He hits a button. We all jolt forward. And then he goes around. He closes the girls. Like, I would have given them the option to leave at this point. He just goes up and closes the door, and the girls just look at each other, and they're like, I guess we're going to do this thing. And then we go around, and they get off, and that was that. I was like, did that just freaking happen? I tell you that story simply to point out the fact that I'm a hero. No. Anyway. Remember Hellhole in North Wildwood? I don't. Spins around till the floor drops out. Oh, yeah. Wait, was the floor dropping out or was your seat going back? I don't know. Anyway, it's almost the season. It's almost the season for carnivals. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are great as per usual. Thanks for sticking through my awful voice today. I do appreciate it. Morning Rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Phillies back at it tonight, 6:45. Flyers, done. Sixers, been done. Eagles, we'll have a lot of draft conversation next week. But back to the Phillies. 11-8 are your Phillies right now as they go into this Marlins series. The Marlins come into the series 8-10. Sandy Alcantara gets the start against Zach Wheeler tonight. Alcantara, a 4.70 ERA. He's given 8 walks away so far, only 1 home run. Zach Wheeler, how about this? 4 home runs to this point. He's 1-1 with a 4.07 ERA. He looks to get back on at least the quality start track. Let's hope that happens tonight. But I'll be on with you guys for your postcast needs on Locked On Phillies postcast. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks to AJ Brown for his public service announcement today. The more you know. Have a great weekend. Once again, I hope you guys, if you celebrate, have a wonderful Easter. Hope you guys get to enjoy the time with the family. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys are great. Be back with you guys tonight on Locked On Sports Phillies YouTube channel. Be back with you guys on Sunday on the same channel, and be back with you guys right here on the Farsi Show Monday morning. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned. Coming up in about 17 minutes, Birds 365 on Jacob Media. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to Jacob Media. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the Farsi Show YouTube channel. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend. Catch us later.